Tonight on Ground Crew Command Radio. It's a very special transmission this week, folks. Instead of our usual Wednesday night show, we're doing a very special, critical, I would even say emergency transmission from deep within enemy lines. That's behind the veil, for those of you who are new, about the details of the scope, magnitude, ramifications of the upcoming January 20th, 21st Lunar Eclipse Mass Meditation that really does hold the potential to be bigger than the August 2017 solar eclipse, which was a huge breakthrough for those of you who remember that. That was certainly a part of history. So drop everything. We've got the latest from Cobra. This is your briefing, dear warriors of light. That's tonight on this special transmission episode of Ground Crew Command Radio. You're listening to the unknown Light Warrior. And we're back. This is special transmission of Ground Crew Command Radio. You're listening to the unknown Light Warrior. And I knew this was going to be huge, the upcoming lunar eclipse. I knew there's a lot of aspects, and an unusually high number of astrological aspects occurring all at the one time. And that one time just happens to be on a lunar eclipse, which covers a much bigger, as far as the lunar eclipse path is concerned, it covers a geography that's a good 2 times bigger than the geography that the lunar eclipse path covered from the huge 2017 solar eclipse event and mass meditation that was over the United States from coast to coast. This one covers from North America all the way to South America and even reaches the West African coast. It is a huge amount of geography that is covered by this lunar eclipse path, and it just happens to be on the supermoon, blood moon, wolf moon according to native Indians. And it's hard to know, it's hard to put into words how to grapple with this, with the scope and magnitude of this. Like I said, we knew it was going to be huge, but still, up until now, very few of us really grasped or understood that it stands to be even bigger than the huge breakthrough that we had with the solar eclipse on 21st of August 2017. If you remember that, especially if you're a follower of Cobra, you would have received the details post that solar eclipse event and mass meditation event where massive, very rare, massive strides and clearings towards planetary liberation were made. And we're looking at the same thing at a minimum as a starting point. You know, it's an unprecedented 20-plus astrological aspects. And never mind the 3 Stargates, as if one isn't enough. And these are actual plasma tubes to Sirius, the Pleiades, and the Galactic Center, all connecting to the supermoon / lunar eclipse. And, of course, the much bigger geography that will be covered by this lunar eclipse path. And Cobra, and I'm going to start what is quite literally a briefing before the big moment. This is very much a briefing, you being briefed before our critical, sacred, goddess-driven action as part of our preparation for this. And as I mentioned on the promotional article for this special transmission of Ground Crew Command Radio, even I had to really ground myself after having this discussion with Cobra. And of course, it's very much a lunar eclipse centered interview, I guess you can call it, where Cobra has, spelt things out in no uncertain terms how huge this is, the details to help appease the rational mind. And he gets into the details. He explains why, the energetic fundamentals and mechanisms as to why this could be, if we play our cards right as 144K members, why this could be much bigger breakthrough than the massive one that we achieved on the 21st of August 2017 Solar Eclipse Mass Meditation. Again, that in itself was a huge quantum leap forward towards planetary liberation. We're looking at the same thing, but we're also getting to the details of some of the symptoms of, what to watch out to know that darkness is, trying to interfere with you. What symptoms you start to experience, emotional or physical distractions or whatever, that you may experience leading up to this mass meditation, this crucial, arguably the most pivotal mass meditation of them all. And I'm talking something that rivals the pivotal mass meditation and activation that we did at the Giza Plateau in the Kefren Middle Pyramid on the 21st of December 2012. This really does rival that, let alone the solar eclipse of 2017, at a minimum, folks. Because one thing that Cobra explained is this, we quite literally are heading into uncharted waters, uncharted territories. What's going to occur on this lunar eclipse hasn't happened before. And we have to bravely step up, fulfill our soul purpose, soul path and obligation, and the whole point of ever arriving to this planet, let alone this deep, dense, clunky level of density throughout all that is. And so we're going to get into the symptoms to watch out for and how to clear those. I'll get into some basic details of how to handle the roughness that hopefully won't, but often does come up just prior to a major mass meditation and astrological event. Remember, this is Ground Crew Command. The headquarters for the 144K is your support network as well for the most robust resources to handle things instead of being overwhelmed. And yeah, this really is, for the first time ever, universal history will be made on the 20th and 21st of January. I kid you not, I'm not being dramatic or sensationalist about it, because the Earth will attempt to establish a connection with a cosmic, in other words, universal central sun, if we play our cards right and we participate, enough of us participate. And why this moment has potential for a never-before experienced quantum shift on this planet. This is real deal, folks. I would say as serious as it gets. We get into the crazy ramifications of the THREE Stargates that will open up on this fateful moment and what we need to do about that to make sure that we achieve the fullest potential impact for planetary liberation, which means for all Lightworkers, reunion with your galactic, i.e. true, family and freedom, if we step up, okay? If we be brave, focus from that now moment with resoluteness, with nothing else on our minds except absolute victory, freedom, and reunion with our beloved ones. That reestablishing that your galactic heritage and returning back to it once again. Really keep that in mind, folks. It's the day where we choose. As simple as that. Now, the interview itself is exactly 39 minutes and 14 seconds long. In other words, I got down right to the point. It's intense, condensed information. You may want to listen to it more than once. And remember, this is part of your preparation. There's more great things coming your way to inspire you, to motivate you, to really step up to the plate like never before. So a couple of more wonderful things coming up your way in the coming days, leading up to this momentous occasion, this momentous event, arguably, and very potentially, especially if enough of us participate in this 144K mass meditation, that really will be intense, really will make history and bring us, so much closer to the event. So you will get the support. So, without further ado, here we go. I'm about to hit the play button on this pre-recorded briefing for you as part of your preparation. Of course, it's pre-recorded because we had to modulate Cobra's voice and get it approved. So it was pre-recorded only about 10, 12 hours ago. So here we go, folks. Listen carefully. And yes, the transcript is going to be released in the coming days as well, along with further supporting and preparatory resources to really open up your power, clear your grids to channel so much light on this absolutely critical, momentous, and pivotal day. So here we go, folks.
Okay, Cobra. An astrologer friend had been sort of freaking out when he tried to assess all the higher than usual number of aspects with this lunar eclipse, and it's 20 of them, as you said on your blog. Then he freaked out even more when he also did the numerological reading of the lunar eclipse event and combined it with the astrological reading. And he said that this year could be the year we've all been waiting for. So, without being sensationalist about it, do you agree that the dam wall is most likely to finally break wide open sometime this year, especially if the mass meditation participation is higher than usual?
Okay, basically I am not giving any predictions in any way because I think people are too focused on the final outcome. When the event will happen, everybody's guessing when this will happen. It's not a point. The point is that we are organically cooperating and contributing to the whole process. It's not just an external event happening to us. We are not passive observers. We are co-creators of this. So when the event will happen is the wrong question, in my opinion.
Yep, I've always agreed with that in terms of the whole theme of leaving the weight club and just focus on doing in the now moment, I guess. Okay, let me just continue straight into the aspects. What are some of the most important of the 20 aspects that the planets and asteroids in this chart are making with the Galactic Center, such as the Pleiades and Sirius?
Okay, actually in this chart, there are a few configurations I would like to mention. The first is the Grand Cross configuration, which puts many of the planets in a place of extreme tension, which results in huge breakthrough. This breakthrough is not determined how it will happen or what the exact breakthrough will be, but it will be definitely a sudden and intense rush of energies entering the planetary situation. Then we have many aspects to the Galactic Center Also, we have many aspects to the Pleiades and many aspects to Sirius. So many planets and asteroids are activating those three stargates. It means that those three stargates will be very active in the whole process during our return of light meditation and during the lunar eclipse. Okay, if I could mention those aspects one by one, but I don't think this is technical detail. I don't think that's important. If you want, I can name some of them. It's up to you.
Yeah, only a couple of them because there's a total of 20. So just a couple of the main ones that you think will help for people to know and will be aware of.
Okay, basically, Pallas is aspecting Galactic Center, Mercury is aspecting Galactic Center, Chiron is aspecting Galactic Center, Uranus is aspecting Galactic Center, Lunar Node is aspecting Galactic Center. So this is just few of them that are triggering Galactic Center. Then Moon is aspecting Pleiades. We have Sun also aspecting Pleiades. We have Chiron aspecting Pleiades, Uranus aspecting Pleiades. We have Mars aspecting Sirius. We have Saturn aspecting Sirius, Venus aspecting Sirius, Jupiter aspecting Sirius, Neptune aspecting Sirius, and so on. Basically, almost all planets and all asteroids in the chart are aspecting one of those three stargates, which is amazing. This is simply a very strong configuration. On top of that, we have the Grand Cross, which is super intense.
Yeah, it's quite astonishing how it's all coalescing into this one grand now moment, which, folks, presents a massive opportunity for us all, which is the main theme of this interview as it relates to the lunar eclipse and all these aspects. Now, what does it mean that they trigger the Galactic Center, if that's the right way to put that question?
It means that there is a certain, each astrological aspect creates a resonance field throughout the solar system. And if there is an aspect, it creates a doorway, a pathway from that particular stargate throughout the solar system towards the surface of this planet. So those three stargates being activated mean that there are three different hyperdimensional plasma streams that will open a way for the energies of the Galactic Center, the energies of Pleiades, and the energies of Sirius to rush through the solar system and touch the surface of this planet.
Wow, quite huge. Okay, that's pretty huge. So, now what does it mean when a planet or asteroid is making is aspecting Sirius in particular? Does this imply that Sirians would be more involved in planetary liberation at that point than beings from other planets, or what can you tell us about that, if anything?
Again, the energy of Sirius Stargate will begin flowing through that plasma, I would say plasma hyperdimensional tube towards the surface of the planet. And of course, Sirians, as they're more aligned with that particular star system, will be extremely active. And again, also the Pleiadians will be active as we have the same aspects with the Pleiades. And the central race will also be quite active. So this is like I would say three of the key positive extraterrestrial races will be extremely involved in this particular activation.
Okay. Well, that dovetails into the next question, which was, the aspects of the Pleiadian Alcyon stargate. So this is just one of those stargates that's going to get activated during the eclipse.
The same principle.
Yeah. Okay. Now, is there, partly to give people a conscious reference point with past experiences, I guess, is there an energetic connection between the huge and pivotal December 21st, 2012 solstice and this lunar eclipse on the 21st of January?
There is no direct correlation between the two. There are completely different energies, completely different configurations, and completely different background to all this.
Yeah. But in terms of proportions, scope of ramifications, are we talking, or are we dealing with something that's at the same level, if you will, as the 21st December 2012?
At the same level, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So really note that, everybody. This is why it's a case of all hands on deck for the mass meditation on the 20th and 21st this month. Make sure you're there. Okay. Now, has there been any type of time manipulation? As one example, Thomas Williams has spoken of a 4-year time loop and things like that may have prevented us from seeing some of the changes that happened in December 2012 at the physical level. Do you know anything about this?
No, it's not true.
Yeah, okay. Now, is there any energetic connection between this total lunar eclipse of 2019 over all the Americas to the total solar eclipse over all of the USA in 2017 last August? Is there a chance to take those energies and expand the changes now?
Okay, actually, there is a correlation. That meditation on the 21st of August 17 over the United States has triggered a certain process which was going on between then and now. And now we are upgrading this whole situation. We have passed the test, so to speak, and we are now expanding this to the next level.
Okay, that's great to hear. So, to clarify, if the critical mass of mass meditators is reached in particular, we're looking at the same level of breakthrough as what we had on the 21st of August 2017 last year with the solar eclipse. Would you agree with that?
That was a year before last. It was 2017. Now it's 2019. But actually, we are looking at a greater impact this time.
There you go, folks. It's time to seize this. Drop everything and really seize this. There you go, confirmed by Cobra. So some people are saying if it's in the stars, it will happen. So we don't need to push, so to speak, to make sure we get critical mass. Now, first of all, would you agree with that?
Okay, if it is in the stars, it will remain in the stars. If you want to make it happen, you need to take physical action.
All right, perfect. Okay, why is our involvement in meditating in a truly unified way on the surface of the planet critical to making things happen much faster and smoother?
Because the transformation, the breakthrough needs to happen through the surface population. If you want to experience this transition through the surface population, there need to be people on the surface that will channel the energies for the transition. There is no other way. There is no way around this.
Yep. Okay. There you go. All right. So are we simply green lighting the shift, so to speak, and giving our agreement to experience the golden age? Or is there something more esoteric about how our bodies, DNA, and energy systems can work with the Stargates during this eclipse?
Okay, basically the eclipse is the moment of no time. It's a moment with direct connection with fifth and higher dimensions. It is the moment of free will decision. It is a moment where quantum leaps are possible. So you can use the energy of the eclipse to make a decision to trigger a quantum shift in your consciousness and in your manifestation process. And planetarily speaking, globally speaking, we will be effectively creating a certain quantum leap in the planetary situation. And I would say that certain new processes that lead towards the planetary liberation will be initiated at that moment. And I'm not allowed to speak about that in detail yet.
Yes, understood. Again, folks, it just yet again underscores the need to be active and participate on that pivotal and critical day. Now, how do the Chimera and Archons interfere with what's supposed to happen, I suppose, generally speaking? And how can humans meditating on the surface of the planet help counteract that and make sure that what is written in the stars will actually happen to its fullest potential?
Basically, what the Chimera are doing and what the Archons are doing, they are dissuading people from meditating on that day by pressuring their weak psychological spots, by diverting their attention to other things, by making them forget, by making them discouraged to participate. This is the main strategy they use. And again, this is a war. This is not a picnic. So people who are meditating are pushing towards the victory, towards the liberation, and everybody who is participating counts. And again, I cannot promise quick results. This situation on the planet is much tougher than anybody has expected. So we need to push forward until we make it. That's all we can do. There is no other thing we can do.
Yeah, that's right. Very well said. Okay. Is there more to the story of what happens multidimensionally when we do critical mass meditations? For example, are there multidimensional versions of ourselves that are participating in the activity on different planes of existence?
Yes, of course. Your physical consciousness is taking care of the physical aspect of the activation, while your higher self and higher aspects of your being are taking care of higher dimensional aspects of the same activation. So everything is covered, everything is being transformed.
And it's all unraveled and unleashed in terms of our potentiality when the physical participation occurs very consciously and deliberately, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Does the physical participation have to happen to trigger the multidimensional aspects, just to make sure there's no confusion with this?
Yes, of course. The physical participation needs to happen if we want to trigger the multidimensional transformation regarding the surface of this planet.
Okay, there you go, folks. You heard that loud and clear. All right. Now, with Uranus in a T-square to the Sun in the 4th house of foundations and opposing the Moon at the same time, is this a time when ordinary people may suddenly flip, if you will, and connect the dots a lot more easier and start waking up the masses?
Okay, I would say that those of the so-called starseeds that have not been awakened yet up until this point might suddenly have this aha moment and suddenly awake to this higher reality and to the state of situation on this planet. And also the masses might receive some revelations through the mass media. There are things being prepared from behind the scenes that might be revealed around that time.
Yeah. And again, folks, it needs our support for that kind of, for the Earth Alliance, I guess, to help them bring that out. We're playing such a crucial role here. So always remember that. Okay. How can we connect with and use the Sirian Stargate and the Pleiadian Alcyon Stargate to help bring in source energy from the galactic central sun? In other words, how do we connect to these stargates energetically?
Okay, the most effective way is when there's a clear night out there, you go out and just connect, watch, observe Sirius star and watch and observe Pleiades. They are both visible in the northern hemisphere right now, so that would not be too difficult to do. In the next, I would say 6 or 7 or 8 nights before the activation itself, you can also connect with Sirius Stargate through a Sintamani stone, and you can connect with Pleiadian Stargate through Moldavite stone.
Fantastic. And how does our connecting to them help more source energy arrive on the surface of the planet?
Okay, Sirius and Pleiadian Stargate are 2 main sources of source energy, filtered, of course, through various dimensions that assist in the planetary liberation process.
Certainly. Okay, you mentioned on your post for this meditation that there is a deadlock between the light and dark forces on the surface of this planet anyway. Now, what are just a couple of examples of this deadlock and that people aren't or may not be aware of. Example, we all know about the cabal or establishment media is maintaining some degree of control over people's consciousness, which is keeping the unconscious majority divided. What else is there in terms of what you're allowed to say?
Okay, the main deadlock is, of course, the toplet bombs. The toplet bombs are the main reason why there is no direct action taken at the moment. The other deadlock I would like to mention is the situation with implants. Most people refuse to awaken simply because their implants are so strong. And the third aspect, which is quite active here, is misinformation or disinformation spread through internet. I would say right now more than 80% of anything that's written in alternative media is misinformation. And people are simply bombarded with so many unproven statements through alternative media that the whole thing has lost its meaning. And it's actually becoming a distraction.
Good point. That's a really important point to raise and be aware of. Of course, folks, it doesn't mean ignore or dismiss all information that you come across. But well, we're certainly doing our best to provide unfiltered, accurate, aligned information here. And obviously Cobra is doing his best as well, needless to say. Okay. Now, the Americas have for a long time been considered as the New World, at least by Western civilization. And I suspect it also holds the most Atlantean energy. Then there's the fact that the eclipse maximum reaches all the way to the west coast of Africa. Now, does this mean that hopefully the last layers of unresolved Atlantean energies and its collapse will surface for us to clear during the eclipse?
Okay, I would not agree that the Americas are the place with the most Atlantean energy. This is one of the places with Atlantean energy. And this particular activation is not so much connected to clearing of unresolved Atlantean energies. It is connected to something else.
Okay. Are you allowed to reveal what it's...
No.
Yeah, no. Understood. Okay. Now, was there a particular reason you chose to do the astrological chart for this meditation over New York in terms of the time that you set? Is New York particularly significant in this eclipse due to Wall Street being right there in Manhattan, by any chance?
Okay, New York is quite significant, one of the, I would say, more significant vortex points for this meditation, but not because of Manhattan.
Yeah, okay, well...
Or even Wall Street, So there is another reason for this.
Gotcha. All of New York, particularly Long Island, used to be extremely sacred to the 13 Native American tribes who lived in the area. Now, is there any special way that New York and Long Island may become apparently activated in whatever way at this eclipse?
I would say all vortexes along the eclipse path will be activated, not only Long Island.
Okay. All right. Very interesting. Now, are the light forces, particularly the off-world groups that you work with, expecting extreme resistance from physical and non-physical darkness before and during the Lunar Eclipse Mass Meditation?
Okay, what has been expected and is already happening is a very strong resistance starting from the partial solar eclipse, which happened, I think it was on the 6th of January. In those 2 weeks leading towards the lunar eclipse, there is a lot of purification, which is quite intense and can sometimes reach brutal levels. This purification clears some of the darker aspects of suppressed human psyche and can lead to increased violence. And the light force are doing everything they can to reduce the level of violence in that particular time frame.
Yeah, definitely. That's great. All right. Now, if so, are we, the surface light worker population, being looked at, not necessarily relied upon, but looked at by many off-world groups to participate in this mass meditation to not just anchor light, but to also hold the energy steady for the planet and the unconscious majority on the surface to be able to absorb and accrete the light.
Basically, yes. Whenever you are anchoring light, you are also stabilizing the energy pattern on the surface of the planet. There are two sides of the same coin. So anybody that is anchoring light in any way is stabilizing the planetary energy grid.
Yeah. Again, folks, another reminder of the critical role, and that's another huge role that we're playing, which is stabilizing things, keeping it stable and smooth. Huge responsibility that you and I have. So always keep that kind of thing in mind. Now, you mentioned that the cosmic central sun will send out a huge pulse of light throughout all of creation, and this will trigger the beginning of the final removal of darkness from all creation. And that this cosmic central sun is obviously something different, or we're assuming is something different from the galactic central sun, but you've rarely spoken about in the past. Now, why is it getting prominence now, given that this lunar eclipse event is something happening only in a tiny part of this galaxy, that being our solar system and zodiac, let alone a tiny part of all that is?
Okay, each mass meditation that we did is creating or building a connection between our physical world and higher dimensions. And each of the successful meditation deepens and expands that connection and creates our link with the source stronger. And so we have been progressing slowly towards a point where we can, for the first time, begin to connect consciously with the cosmic central sun. Cosmic central sun is far beyond and far more powerful than the galactic central sun. The galactic central sun only oversees the evolution of this particular galaxy, where the cosmic central sun oversees the evolution of this whole universe. And for the first time, the direct connection will be made. Actually, nobody knows how that connection looks like, because nobody in the last, I would say, 14 billion years of cosmic history has created this connection. So we are in one of the key moments in the evolution, which is leading from the past cosmic cycle in the new cosmic cycle. And as you probably know, this planet is key in this process because it is the final focal point of darkness as a principle in this particular universe. So this is the reason why this eclipse is not just a small tiny eclipse on a small tiny planet orbiting a small tiny average star at the outskirts of a small galaxy. It is the focal point of transformation of the cosmic importance. And this is why we are here. We have been chosen to be here. We have been planning to be here. And now, in this particular moment, specifically for that particular purpose of assisting in the turning point of this cosmic cycle during this eclipse, and to connect directly the surface of this planet to the cosmic central sun, so the next phase of compression breakthrough can be initiated.
Wow, that is so huge. Okay, so we're quite literally at a universal level, if not multiversal level, making history, partly because this hasn't been done before, at least from a deep physical level of density. Is that fair to say?
It has never been done before in this way, in this particular universe. It is the first time. So we really don't know what to expect.
Yeah, very much uncharted territory, which is very exciting. And has it happened or been done in any other universe, if you know?
It has been done before, but as you know, each universe that has been created had a different structure, different conditions, and this is the only universe that has experienced darkness, or I would say the only universe that still exists now that has experienced darkness. And so this particular situation is unique.
Okay. But has it been done from a physical level of density
yes.
in any other universe?
Yes, but without a strong presence of primary anomaly.
Okay, well, that makes it quite different and unique, I guess, to say the least. Okay, well, this is huge, folks. We just yet again confirms the fact that you're a part of history and we are all together, quite literally, making history and doing something that hasn't been done before. You've heard it from the horse's mouth. This is so profound and good reason to get excited about and participate this coming Sunday or Monday, wherever you are in the world. Let me see here. Are off-world positive groups fully aware and fully appreciate the extent of the extreme damage and multiple layers of suppression on the surface light worker population, and how much this situation has clearly affected the participation rates of the surface population in mass meditations?
Okay, this is a difficult question simply because off-world positive groups do not have the same experience that we have on the surface of the planet. They can see what's happening, but they have no idea how an actual experience of being on the surface of the planet, cut up from light and from support, how it really feels and how it really looks like. So they have their own idea and understanding, which is, I would say, far from truth, because they do not have a direct experience. It is simply, if somebody would ask you, how do you think children in Africa feel when they are starving to death? You have no idea. You can see pictures on TV, you have some idea about it, but you have no idea how it really feels like. And this is the same how those off-world positive sources cannot really understand what surface population is going through.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's one of those classic cases of where you can only really understand something until you go through it yourself, and then you really get it. One critical thing to talk about is if positive off-world groups directly intervene in clearing and healing members of the surface population in order to better fulfill, their soul potential and soul purpose, will this trigger direct intervention from negative off-world groups, whether it's physical or not physical?
Yes, of course. This is the main reason why the light forces are not intervening, because there would be an immediate retaliation of the negative groups. This is the main problem we have on this planet.
Well, one thing I better ask is, if there was no plasma-toplet bombs or threat of retaliation with plasma-toplet bombs in particular, would this be safe? Would it make it safe for direct?
Yes, everything else the light forces are able to cover right now. So if all toplet bombs are removed, we would have the event in 15 minutes.
Okay. Do the 144,000 starseeds who came to this planet through Stargates, particularly through Sirius and the Pleiades, as a soul family in Mandela, with the purpose of liberating Earth, and who are also thought to be pieces, each of them a piece or a shard of the Holy Grail, have a huge role to play at the time of this eclipse?
Yes.
Okay, and what is their special role? Is there anything else that you can add to that hasn't really been discussed in the past?
Not at the moment, not yet. I might say more after the meditation is over.
Okay. Well, there you go, folks. It just goes to show you're part of a very real, literal, and legitimate operation, a planetary liberation operation. So do take it seriously as if it was a Matrix career. Well, even more serious than that. Okay. Huge things. Cobra, I want to briefly get into, the hierarchy of darkness on the physical plane. We had Thomas Williams on the show about 3 weeks ago, and he just quickly explained how, as far as the physical plane is concerned, how there was, I like to think there isn't anymore, but anyway, there was the Draco at the top. We'll set aside the Chimera for now. Draco at the top, and underneath is the so-called parents, about 20 or 21 of them, that seem to be made up of nanotech, and are immortal for the most part. And they're sort of below the Draco, and each one of these parents, so to speak, are in charge of groups that are generally called black magicians, okay, known as covens, as the name of the groups. And then beneath them, you have the black nobility bloodlines. Do you know specifically about these black magician or covens groups yourself? Have you come across this information? And are they indeed black magicians?
Okay, basically he's describing the Illuminati structure, and some of the Dracos are at the top of the Illuminati structure, but above them is the black nobility. So those, I would say, black magician covens are the basic organic structure of Illuminati network throughout the planet.
Okay. And you're saying they're one level beneath the black nobility bloodlines, is that correct? Yeah, okay. Well, either way, they're certainly around the top. Okay. Quick status update with the non-physical planes, particularly the plasma plane and the plasma toplet bombs. First of all, is the plasma plane still the main obstacle that needs to be cleared? Because of that's where most of the primary anomaly still is.
It still is, and it will be until the very moment of the breakthrough.
Okay, I understand that you can't reveal much. The etheric plane and the mental plane and the astral plane, are they looking pretty good, or is the lower subplane still need a bit of work?
There is still work that needs to be done, but there is, I would say, gradual improvement on those planes.
Okay. And if that's making you feel a little impatient, again, join in the mass meditation. It's the moment to seize, really, in a big way. Okay, Cobra, can you briefly tell us, if you know at all, what's the general feeling and morale at the moment like with the resistance movement and any confederation group, typically the Pleiadians and Sirians? Is there anything you can share with us on that?
Basically, we're in the middle of the war, so they are focused on pushing through. They're focused on creating the breakthrough. They have some quite exciting plans, but those will be revealed when the time is right.
Yeah. And their morale is high?
The morale is quite high. There are some concerns, but the overall outlook on the whole situation is quite positive. Yeah,
definitely. But obviously still a little tense, especially when it comes to certain things, I assume, which is understandable. That's the way war is. Okay. Cobra, now, I just want to finish off with the fact that, and I'm saying this from the heart, you've provided the surface population with one-of-a-kind intel that most of us haven't been able to find from or get from anywhere else, particularly the non-physical planes, the Chimera and plasma toplet bombs, and many aspects of the history of humanity. Now, for this and several other reasons, of course, and I'm sure I speak for everyone who have been following you for a while, we will never forget this. And we love you for it. And don't ever be disheartened or feel down about whatever disagreements or infighting may occur within the Lightworker network, because the damage sustained by Lightworkers since and before Atlantis has been insane, has been ridiculous. And I'm not surprised that the majority of Lightworkers were rendered either inactive or too damaged to really function well. So I just want to finish on that note, and feel free to add anything you want to that very heartfelt expression of gratitude towards you.
Okay, thank you for that. I understand what the surface population went through, But I would need to add that my psychological makeup is a little bit different, so I have to adjust to in a certain way to what's going on here, because to me it's quite alien. Thank you very much. I would like to invite everybody to meditate and participate in this particular moment, which is quite key and can influence to a great degree how future acceleration will happen. And victory of the light.
Indeed, folks, the victory of the light. And this really is a huge, huge opportunity to accelerate the whole process of planetary liberation without the roughness, okay, to still keep it as smooth as possible. So, Cobra, thank you for everything, and stay strong, and we'll see you on the non-physical planes as well, I guess, on the lunar eclipse.
Okay, I will be present in, basically, I will be present in a certain way that is quite interesting.
Fantastic, that's great. Thank you for your inspiration, and we will talk again, hopefully soon after the lunar eclipse with some great news.
Okay, very good.
Fantastic. Okay. There you go, folks. That was Cobra. We're going to take a short musical break, and I'll be right back on the other side.
And we're back. This is Ground Crew Commander Radio. You're listening to the Unknown Light Warrior. And this, as I've said, is your critical briefing, part of your preparation for this huge opportunity. Above all, it's not just a massive event, a massive energetic and astrological event, but a huge opportunity to get what we want. What we really want. That's what it comes down to. Reclaim our birthright. To not just freedom of an unconditional kind, not just reunion with our beloved families, our true families, our galactic families, but to regain ourselves. I mean, really regain ourselves. Regain your true identity. That in itself is huge enough. Never mind things like mass landings for disclosure, free energy, med beds, traveling the stars, being ambassadors, being off-world or galactic ambassadors to the newly awakened majority, hopefully very soon, as a result of our effort, throwing our energetic weight behind this huge event. Now, right now, it's all about preparation. So kind of focus and preparation. And one of the primary ways, as in crucial ways to prepare, is find, use, and apply the most robust and powerful healing, clearing, and activation tools, meditations, resources that you know of. And to do that at least once or twice before this, I think it's Sunday, the 20th of January if you're in the US or the Americas, and the 21st in most other parts of the world. And it's going to be, let me see here, 10:30 p.m. EST, New York time, which is when this particular 144K mass meditation group will begin. the general meditation, the 15-minute meditation that Cobra has specifically designed, will be played live an hour and a half into our massive clearing, our specific and unique and advanced 144K mass meditation. So that's two sort of separate things in a sense. If you want to participate in the advanced 144K mass meditation of Ground Crew Command, then just go to the numbers 144, the letter K, activated.org, and just sign in there to be on the notification and to get the link for the special live broadcast that I'll be guiding. And we'll be starting that at 10:30 p.m. EST. We'll be doing it for approximately an hour and a half. And then I'll be playing live the audio recording of Cobra's specifically designed mass meditation to finish it all off with for a massive, huge crescendo. Of course, if you're only subscribed to Cobra's blog, then you won't receive the notification and the link to the live broadcast for this 144K mass meditation, which will start an hour and a half earlier. Because let's just say, from the team that I work with, there is specific, let's just call it a strong recommendation and encouragement, to put it mildly, to do approximately a full hour of the deepest mass transmutation and clearing just prior to the commencement of what I'll call the Cobra meditation, which other groups will only be doing that independently, to get so much more out of this lunar eclipse mass meditation when other groups join up at the end of our hour and a half clearing, because there's certain advanced things that do need to be completed. Certain fortifications need to be removed, etc. I won't go into too much detail about it. But if you're new to hearing my voice, and new to Ground Crew Command Radio, new to this specific 144K mass meditation group, then just go to 144kactivated.org. Read the information there, crucial information, and sign in. Because the 144K group, that's guided, supported, and run by over here at the 144K headquarters here at Ground Crew Command. We tend to start about an hour earlier before big meditations, before other meditation groups join, and to really accelerate things, to get a lot more through the initial clearing that we do through certain advanced methods, to get so much more out of critical opportunity that we must take advantage of. So we're not, that's why this 144K group starts about an hour earlier, because we really do need to make the absolute most of every opportunity that we get to make freedom come so much closer. So check out that website. And if you've just stumbled across this recorded broadcast or YouTube video when it goes on YouTube in about 24 hours from now, and you're not subscribed to either Cobra's blog or the 144K group here at Ground Crew Command, make sure you go to both those respective websites and sign up for both of them. Cobra's blog is 2012, the numbers 2012, portal.blogspot.com. And scroll down a bit, you'll see along the right sidebar, you'll see enter subscribe, enter email address. It's a little further down, I believe. and you'll have to really look for it. And subscribe there for some of the best intel out there. And of course, here at Ground Crew Command, we work, a lot of what we do, certainly not all of it, but some of it is based on Cobra's intel. We do work in tandem to a significant degree, so make sure you go to 144kactivated.org and subscribe there as well. We have our weekly support radio show, usually every Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. EST, and you can always download the recordings later. That really does put things into perspective in terms of exo and geopolitical news analysis, where we make sense of all the chaos of the planetary liberation process and provide you with that critical clarity, perspective, inspiration, and motivation to get you through that Archon invented work week. So join the Army of Light at preferably both of those URLs and begin your preparation. You have been briefed. It's in our hands now. The power really is in our hands. So make sure you go right now to subscribe to both those websites because, again, use the critical tools, the best tools that you know of to clear and heal your way to channel much more light through your grids on this fateful lunar eclipse mass meditation opportunity, the biggest opportunity we've gotten thus far. You've heard that now for yourself, Cobra himself. So make sure you do those clearings. And if you've been a little disillusioned in terms of robust mass internal clearing and healing for yourself and DNA activation, and you also want to support the 144K rate of growth so that we do those consistent monthly mass meditations of actual 144K in numbers of mass meditators, then certainly go to the 144kactivated.org website where you can access the four-phase healing system to really prepare yourself in a big way and discover why a lot of the healing and clearing techniques of the past may not have been quite as strong as you needed to really bring you the results, because that is the backbone that's strengthening, the growing, reactivating 144K Army of Light. Go to that website to find out more. Make sure you're subscribed to both those websites and listen back on some of the past radio show episodes at returntoyourtruth.com/blog, which is the official blog for the 144K Mass Meditation group. Just go over there and listen back on the past 4 or 5 episodes. We've had Corey Good on, we've had Thomas Williams on, we've had Cobra on in the past. And of course, you'll receive a few more inspirational resources, particularly one 5-minute video that I'll be sending during the week to really your energies, really infuse you with energies, with these inspirations I'm going to be sending to you and to all subscribers over at 144kactivated.org. So go there now, go to each of those URLs. This is critical, folks. I can't stress how massive an opportunity it is to turn things around in such a huge way, to say enough is enough. Let's take charge. The power really is in your hands and in my hands. Let's do it. This is the Unknown Light Warrior. You've been listening to Ground Crew Command Radio. Talk soon, folks.